Green flag, qualifying begins for Marcus Ericsson.
This is a driver that, of course, won back here in 2022, but so far this season, this is a driver now that has some question marks around his future.
Through four down the straight, Marcus Ericsson, the first four-lap average of the day, takes the checker. His fourth lap over the line is a 2:31.8 for an average of 2:32.1. A good first marker for Marcus Ericsson, and he'll be happy with that. He comes down the start-finish stretch to take the green flag and begin his qualifying run for McLaren. Pato O'Ward getting things going.
What's interesting about the last 3 years, you mentioned those two second-place finishes. Both of them came down to last lap battles that he came on the short end of. That third year in that stretch, he was fighting for the win as well when he had a late crash with about 10 laps to go. So for 3 consecutive years, he's been in the fight for the win at the greatest spectacle in racing for 3 consecutive years.
We saw some tire bleed off with Ericsson's run. The question is, can Pato O'Ward be the first one to go faster yet on lap 4?
So Ericsson's target time, a 2:32.132. Pato O'Ward with the fourth lap over the line. It's a 2:32.7. The consistency has paid out for Pato O'Ward. 2:32.820 goes to the top. Great run.
To take the green flag for his first qualifying attempt. And we'll watch the throttle, and it's a lift a little bit in turn 1 for Kyffin Simpson.
But look, we saw tiny lifts from Pato O'Ward as well, as we see another slight crack of the throttle there in turn 2. But this young driver, born and raised in the Cayman Islands, not a lot of motorsports there, did a great job to find his way here to the Indycar series at such a young age.
From quite a wild experience, he'll be relieved to get this one in the bag.
His four-lap average in practice this morning was around the 230-mile-an-hour mark. His four-lap average in qualifying for his first attempt, a 2:31.641. Again, great consistency for Kyffin Simpson. You join us in the middle of the run for the new team and the new driver in IndyCar this year, Prema Racing, who have such a rich history in European open wheel. They've turned up in the NTT IndyCar Series. They've had a very difficult start to their season. But Robert Schwartzman, who has never driven on an oval until this week, has just set a first lap of 233.230 miles an hour. Schwartzy and Prema are coming.
Wow, are you kidding me? A brand new team, a driver with no experience.
His average speed has already dropped down below O'Ward, but with hybrid deployment on this last lap, can he maybe salvage a few tenths of a mile an hour?
I can see those red gloves looking awfully busy behind the aero screen. Schwartzman hanging on, one more corner to go, but a brilliant first qualifying attempt at Indy.
What a debut for Robert Schwartzman, through 4, down and over the line. The rookie goes to second, a 2:32.584.
This morning, he could not string together 4 laps. On the 4th lap of his practice run, he had to bail out of it big time right here in turn 2. Let's see how he does for his first lap. It's flat, flat, flat. He is good for lap 1.
And look, when you're sitting in your car in line, you've normally got your cell phone out with the IndyCar mobile app, because that gives you live telemetry and you're looking at how much other drivers are struggling. We've seen a lot of drivers have to pedal the throttle a little bit on these qualifying runs. Felix knows conditions are tough. He knows his car's good, though. He went out there, absolutely no hesitation, through 1 and 2 on that first lap.
2 corners to go for Rosenquist.
He's just trying to hang on at this point. This is the easiest corner. Sounds a little rich. A guy sitting up in the booth, but turn 4 into the wind. It helps plant the race car, but he's done it. He's been able to keep the car in one piece. He comes to the line.
Third. Wow. And I mean, and that shows you again the lap from Schwartzman, but also for him to be able to hang on to that after that big lift on 3.
218.5, pretty on par with what we've seen from a lot of the drivers as you ride on board his first flying lap.
He's raced here 22 times in the 5 pole positions you mentioned, Will, and the way you get that is by putting your car right on the razor's edge and using your hands to masterfully balance, walk the tightrope all the way through 4 corners.
we talk about consistency. I'm sorry, 232.6, 232.6, 232.58. Scott Dixon is Mr. Consistency. This is a beautiful run from the six-time champion.
And I believe he made a tiny weight jacker adjustment with his right hand there to help him through the final two corners of this run. I think this will be the best read on whether or not the hybrid kind of kicks the lap time up across the line here on lap 4.
Lap 4 over the line for Scott Dixon, an average, it's up to a 232.7 for an average of 232.659. Dixon to second. Colton Herta now out on track, and it has been a promising start to this Indy 500 fortnight for the Andretti team. The pace has looked good. Herta has looked comfortable and confident, but his history here in qualifying isn't overly spectacular since he started second back in 2021. After that point, he started 25th in 22, 21st in 23. Just missed out on making the top 12 last year in 13th. Will be hoping for far better this year. Takes the green flag, starts his run. Colton Herta for Andretti.
And for you regular IndyCar fans,
oh, spin it in the wall. That's huge for Colton Herta. Upside down and dragging down the track. That's a big impact.
To absorb the fluids as Colton Herta climbs out with assistance and takes a seat.
And a big round of applause from the crowd here. And good to see him able to get himself out pretty much by himself. A little bit of help from the team there, but up and walking away.
I mean, that looked different even from Armstrong. Armstrong had the moment, caught it, and came around. Colton's just went around very quickly.
He didn't look like he had a chance.
By the time he knew it was loose, he was already sideways, and not much you can do. These Indy cars are designed to have a lot of grip and a lot of downforce when they are pointing forwards, but as soon as you get any yaw, any slip in that car, the downforce peels off, the grip disappears almost exponentially with every degree of rotation past a certain point. It just happens so fast.
Second impact destroying the camera on the top of the roll hoop, but then it comes back miraculously.
At 230-something miles an hour, and you can still see the skid marks and the bang in the wall that Colton Herta just did as a driver to be the next guy out and think, hey, I've got to keep my foot flat if I want to be in this race. It is a huge hurdle to get over.
It's a great point. He's going so fast you barely see it, but from where David Malukas sits, turn 2 looks like Sunday morning after a bachelor party in terms of all of the oil dry on the track. AJ Foyt, the team owner, watching on but it also makes the back end of the race car difficult to hang on to. The back starting to walk around for Malukas, but he's done it. He makes it through the final corner of this run. Supertex looking on. Malukas to the line.
232.8 the time to beat. Over the line, it's a 232.194. Wicked fast on those last 2 laps for David Malukas, places him 5th overall. Great run.
Minimum speed in turn 2, 233 miles an hour.
So what does it give him right here going into turn 3? 238 for Alex Palou, but incredible minimum speed, and like you said, just like Dixon, a seemingly perfect balance mid-corner.
Absolutely pinned. Look at that. It's on rails around turn 4. Alex Palou, let's see the line and let's see the time. Crosses it, and it is a 233.0. Not the fastest we've seen today, but that will do very nicely. Thank you very much.
If he can have the consistency that we saw this morning, that would put him in a good position. Track temp 106 degrees right now, holding pretty steady.
Alex Palou was on the pole here back in 2023. He started from the front row twice, but he has never won this great race. In fact, he has never won on an oval. He needs it to complete the career, to put himself into the pantheon of one of the all-time greats.
And for all the other drivers watching from either gasoline alley and pit lane, they tell their engineers, I just want my car to handle like that.
Dude, it might be enough. He has got a great head of steam coming off of 4.
Award 232.8 is the best we've seen today. Not anymore. 233.0. Below to the top. The target man has the target on his back once again. Mr. Perfect, P1. We're talking about tenths of a mile of an hour as he goes higher and higher still for his fastest lap of the run so far. 233.282. Hybrid being utilized now. Scott McLaughlin is coming for the top time of Alex Palou.
That is some big-time driver stuff right there to go faster on lap 3 when you are right at the ragged edge. Now he has the benefit of the hybrid deployment as he hangs on for one more corner.
One more turn for Scott McLaughlin. Top time so far, 233.043. McLaughlin takes the checker, crosses the line, and it's a 233.013 miles an hour. 300ths of a mile an hour. The difference over 4 laps.
Green flag for Joseph Newgarden, and we've talked so much about his chance this year to be the first 3-time winner. But at the same time, if he pulls that off, his team owner, Roger Penske, would become a 20-time winner of the Indy 500.
With Alex Palou, let's see what this lap is. It's a 232.997. That consistency, absolutely sensational from Joseph Newgarden. And again, not a twitch, not a wobble, not a thought. I was going to say a thought of lifting the throttle, but he did. Just a bit.
He's just right there. Wife Ashley looking on. The stress isn't just inside the car, guys. Sometimes the heart rates of the wives and partners in pit lane are higher than the drivers in the car.
Now, Joseph Newgarden, of course, has to remind himself, this is not for pole. This isn't even for the Fast 6. It's simply to make the top 12 and advance to a chance to get pole tomorrow.
Pulled his time to give himself a better chance of setting a fast time. It's the 3rd fastest average we've seen so far today.
You enter too tight, you're going to exit really loose and wide. And that's what we've been discovering with this wind as well. You can't, it's very hard to predict when you're going to hit that gust, and it's going to push the car out of the way, so it's very hard to be precise. Simon, every detail you think of in the car, from the helmet hose fitting to the radio, how loud that is, to how I drive the car. You know, I'm not going to get into detail because we've got a lot more to get going, but he was just, for me, he dotted my I's, crossed my T's. You know, he helped me do that, and that's been a huge thing for my overall, experience.
Will Power looks like he's about to improve his 4-lap average. Was a 231.8. It is now a 232.1, so he moves up 1 place to P10 ahead of Marcus Ericsson. So a good run for Will Power, and the only driver that we've seen take back to the track and actually improve their speed and their position.
You can see on the Ghost car from that first run, just pulling away the entire time.
Needs a big one. Needs a big last lap.
With the steering wheel. Scotty, I see you kind of doing the hand motions. What are you seeing?
He looks really predictable. Like a very good point in the car on entry. He can get it low at turn 2 there. That's the hardest corner of the track today.
His average is right with Alexander Rossi's, who sits in P13. But Kyle Larson deploying the hybrid on this final lap. That might give him the boost to bump up lap 4 and put him into the top 12.
Needs a 231.641 to break up into the top 12. Kyle Larson for McLaren attempting the double over the line. It is a 231.326, narrowly outside. That is 16th for Larson. It does at least get him out of the danger zone. But my, wouldn't he love to have been in the top 12? We'll have to say.
And with that lack of confidence, as you're releasing the throttle, you're also adjusting the pitch of the race car.
Sure.
Critical in airplanes and critical at Indianapolis on 4 wheels. He stays still with a lift in turn 3.
This is probably the easiest corner on the track right now, and that's it's full throttle. So I mean, that bodes well.
Lundgaard aiming to join his teammate Pato O'Ward in the top 12. He's increased his speed on lap 2. Can he increase his speed on lap 4? Over the line for Lundgaard. It's enough. It's 12. A 231.809. A great run from Lundgaard. 9th fastest, 232.169. I can tell you that Marco Andretti has tried and failed to break into the top 30 since last we were with you.
Hey, this is great speed from Takuma Sato, a 2-time winner of the Indy 500. This Japanese driver is 48 years old, but if you met him in person, you would think he's in his early 20s. He is fit, he is aggressive.
Like one of the younger drivers in the field, such as his enthusiasm, his boundless joy for racing. Over the line for Taku. It is a 2:32.415. It moves him to 8th.
P8.
All right, Scuba, well, went up 1 spot. Big one, big.
So he's picked up 1 spot. And that could be the difference if we suddenly get a flurry at the end of drivers trying to break in. And who had his very first run today taken away from him for a technical infringement. His front wing a little bit too low. That third lap, 2:31.871. He is cracking for the top 12. A little wobble, a little lift. 50% hybrid remains for Connor Daly, the local hero from Noblesville, Indiana, to make his way into the 12 with the final run of the day. The pistol fires. Daly is pinned. Turn 4. Half a mile to go for Connor Daly.
Come on,
the
kid.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway to make it into the top 12, to fight for pole. Has he done it? No! It's a 2:31.725. Heartbreak for Daly. Heartbreak for Daly, but my word, he will start from 13th place.
And a massive relief for Graham Rahal.